Long before the shine of the bright lights and the roar of an excited crowd lies countless hours of tireless work. Along with the blood, sweat, and tears that come with the sport, there is sacrifice. On the road to becoming a professional fighter, there are no free rides. This is the story of Jason Heit.
At 4 years old, I knew that I wanted to be a professional fighter when I grew up, which was pretty interesting. I guess the defining moment was watching Rocky as a kid, and that's really where it started from. You know, I actually vividly remember the conversation with my dad where watching two guys, fight on TV, and I'm like, well, I thought you're not allowed to fight. Like what's going on there? I thought you're not allowed to do that. And my dad's like, well, no, that's a sport and that's their profession. Like, that's what they do. That's their job. I'm like, what? You mean when I grow up, I could do that for a job? He's like, yeah, I guess. And he's like, I want to do that. And I'm like, I want to box. And I was like on him and on him and on him. And then he finally got me a boxing bag and kind of thought it would pass, but it never did. I always wanted to do it.
Born to a Canadian father and American mother, Jason was raised in Buffalo, New York. At the age of 14, he enrolled in his first martial arts class. A few years later, his family moved north of the border and settled on Canada's west coast.
I moved out to Victoria when I was 17, and there wasn't really a lot of boxing going on there. But what there was these tough man contests, which were great. They were like just everybody in the city would get together, and you could enter this event, and it was just a round robin event, and one man was standing at the end of the night. And I entered that when I was 17. They actually changed the rules afterwards and made sure that no minors could go in there. But I won. I had 3 fights in one night, men. three men in one night, and knocked all 3 of them out.
After his successful showing at the local Tough Man competition, Jason went on to string together 9 consecutive wins en route to becoming the Canadian light heavyweight champion. Despite his meteoric rise in the sport, Jason realized he could only go so far on sheer talent.
My 9th fight, I won the Canadian title. So I went, to that level of competition so quick on my 9th fight. It was way too quick. I still had so much left to learn in the sport. And it was like a rapid ascent, and it was really good on one hand, but on the other, it was so quick. Like, my athleticism got me there, but once I was there, I didn't have the skill. You know what I mean? I had to learn that, so it was tough.
While Jason was figuring out his next move in his boxing career, he decided to get involved with an exciting new sport that was just emerging: mixed martial arts.
Wanted to do some MMA, try the first competition. So I went in Stan Pederik put on Ultimate Battles, which was as far as the records show, that was the first sanctioned MMA event in Canada. First round TKO, basically got on top of the guy, ground and pounded him. But
splitting his time between boxing and kickboxing, he had to make a choice. Jason decided he needed to focus all his energy in just one direction if he was going to take his skills to the next level. After carefully weighing the options, he came to a decision.
I figured the most lucrative was professional boxing, and I still think it is to this day. And went and figured I needed to relocate out of Victoria. So made the move full-time to LA. And when I got down there, I was working at the Wild Card Boxing Gym, Freddie Roach's gym.
Jason was finally at home with a gym that could truly help him develop his talent. Although boxing may have proven to be a lucrative career for those competing in the big shows, Jason was still moving up through the ranks and was having trouble making ends meet on boxing alone.
There wasn't a lot of money in it, so I was bouncing down there. I started like at one of the worst bars in the city. I mean, they were brutal. Like, there was just fights and shootings, and I mean, one of the spots, 7 people got shot one night. Like, it was just like, it wasn't pretty. And I knew I needed to get out of there. I was making $40 a night to deal with like crap. You know what I mean? But I was living the dream.
With his training peaking at the Wild Card Gym, Jason went on to win his next fight. On the same night after his bout, Jason returned to the crowd to watch the main event. What he witnessed from the stands would make him seriously question the direction he was heading.
Fighter collapsed and died in the ring that night. And it was just really, really tough. Here was a guy that made a $5,000 payday and left 3 children behind, probably with no insurance policy or, you know, anything like that. And, you know, like that's kind of the reality of the sport, and it just all kind of like came crashing down at that point for me mentally.
After witnessing the tragedy, Jason decided to take a break from the boxing world. He began work in the field of close protection and security. His clients ranged from Hollywood's elite to international musicians.
So went on tour with Robbie Williams for about 2 years, and that was a fantastic experience. But it's a very, very demanding job. It doesn't matter if it's Christmas, it doesn't matter if it's your birthday, it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? There's no 9 to 5 weekends. That doesn't exist. Like you know, I mean, there's times I'd be on the road 8 months straight, right? And you know, I have children. You know, I have 2 daughters. So that type of lifestyle with that kind of travel is very, very difficult. You know, when you have a family. So moved back to Canada, and yeah, opened my gym out there, Island MMA, and yeah, coach and train the whole gamut, from first timers to amateur fighters, professional fighters. You know, got my oldest student is 86, so yeah, youngest is 5, so everything in between.
Jason now runs the popular business with his gym manager and longtime friend Keith Naddison. The pair have an interesting dynamic in training, but they work together to ensure everyone at the gym is well supported.
It kind of works together like it's kind of like, you know, a good cop, bad cop kind of situation where, you know, Jay wants you to work hard. He doesn't want to give you false pretenses. He wants you to, you know, you got to work hard to be who you are. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing that right. Keep working. Don't give up. You know what I mean? Stay in school. And that's kind of how that aspect of it works for the club, I believe.
Jason believes the skills the students acquire in the gym not only teach them how to be better fighters, but better people.
Whatever they do, these lessons that they learned, you know, through combat sports, it doesn't have to be competition. It can just be training. You know, those lessons that you learn, they make you a better person, a calmer person, a stronger person. You know, it's good for the soul.